Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here. Hope you guys are having a lovely Thursday. Gosh, can everyone hear me okay? Sometimes I think my microphone's too loud, and then, okay, there we go. That's nice. Right there. I hope you guys are having an awesome week. Yeah, I was just on last night talking about some news items with the boys from Hit the Bricks, but we had some things that we didn't get to cover on the show there. And we also had some news drop here just a few hours ago regarding this Jason universe craziness. So I'm excited to get into it with you guys and hang out. And you know what? If we have time, I do have to get to my niece's birthday dinner. So I'm going to be as economical as possible here. I don't know if you guys saw this or if you guys are interested in me even covering stuff that's non-horror, but there was a clip from the new Superman movie that was released with Superman like yelling at Lex Luthor about his dog. I'm concerned, guys. I'm starting to get worried about Superman. It didn't look good. Let me just make sure everything's going well with my mic. There we go. Okay, I think everything's clean now. Yeah, starting to get concerned for the tone and the interpretation of Superman. And I know everyone's like, James Gunn hasn't made a bad movie, blah, 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 blah. All of that's great. Superman is like a very delicate kind of character if you don't get it right. If he's really going to be like a whiny teenager the whole movie, for a third of the movie, I don't know if I'll be able to handle it. But anyways, I want to say what's up to you guys in the chat, and then we'll get rolling with some news here. So let's see. We've got Chester Franklin Jr. What's happening, Chester? Hope you are doing well. So great to see ya. Lamontre Gillard in the chat. What's happening, Lamontre? And we got Adrian James. How are you doing, Adrian? Always a pleasure. One of our great channel members, Antonis Andriotis. So what's happening, Antonis? Yeah, we are getting some sort of Jason Universe short film that we're going to talk about. We got Allie Girl in the chat. How are you doing, Allie? She says, bring on When Evil Lurks 2. Happy Thursday, y'all. Well, happy Thursday right back at you, Allie. And yes, I will whatever Demian Rugna wants to do after Terrified and When Evil Lurks. I'm like, let that guy do whatever he wants. If he wants to do a sequel to When Evil Lurks, great. I love that universe. To me, it felt like a grounded version of Evil Dead. I think I described it as if Christopher Nolan directed an Evil Dead movie or created his own kind of Evil Dead sort of thing. That's what it sort of reminded me of. Let's see who else we've got in here. Gory Tiger. What's happening, Gory? Hope you are doing well. We've got Denise Wheat, one of our great Patreon members and YouTube channel members. Hope you are doing well today, Denise. Denise? How about that? We got Ashton Luck. What's happening, Ashton? Hope you are doing well, my guy. How's the week been treating you? Let me know. Let's see, we got Gene Whitacombe in the chat. I am doing great, Gene. Earlier today, I believe it was 2:30 Eastern, which is what, 7:30, something like that, 7:30 UK time. I hopped on with the boys from Twisted Locker. That was a lot of fun. We talked about sci-fi horror movies. We ranked a whole bunch of them on a tier maker. So that was pretty fun. Always love hanging out with those guys. If you're not subbed over to the Twisted Locker YouTube channel, go throw them a sub. They're going live a lot more regularly lately. I really enjoy those guys. I think they have a great chemistry. They have a difference in taste, but they're cousins, so they've got this familiarity. They give each other a whole bunch of shit in a fun way. I don't know. I always have a blast with those guys, so can't recommend them enough. We got Leanna Bevy Rage in the house, one of our great channel members, and Death Squad mods. And speaking of channel members who are also Death Squad mods, we got Robert the Wolfman. Ow! Hope you're doing well, Robert. Missed you, been missing you lately, but hopefully we'll hang out again sometime soon, do a little horror show get together. Well, I'd imagine even if I don't see you before Mad Monster weekend, I'll probably see you that weekend. We got Blazin' Asian in the house. What's happening, Blazin'? Hope you are doing well. We've got Linda. What's happening, Linda? Guys, I want to give Linda a shout out because not only did she share that she was watching Hit the Bricks and enjoying it on her Instagram story, she also shared just a link for people to sub to this channel right here, which is incredibly sweet and awesome. I'm less than 20. We are less than 20 subscribers away from being 1,500 strong. So it's really exciting. It would be great to hit that number. You guys have all been awesome, supporting the pre-recorded content, engaging on those videos, engaging with the shorts, and of course showing up for lives. And I've noticed that our community has been growing within the last couple months, so I love seeing that. I've been trying to do my best, excuse me. I want to talk so much that I don't let myself take a break. I've been trying to do my best to stay active, not only on here, but do collaborations. And I think, you know, doing things like Hit the Bricks has certainly helped as well. So love seeing more folks jump in here. I think from now on, I talked about it with the boys earlier today. I think the Hit the Bricks episodes are going to be simulcast on Drum Dums, the Lost River Drive-In, and over here on the Davey Death Ray channel, because yesterday we had 112 people watching the stream all at once, split between the 3 channels. So we want to cast the widest net we can. And I kept on dipping in to see how many of y'all were watching here on the Davey Death Ray channel, and it was so awesome. I think we peaked at like 23 folks. So that's amazing. I mean, you could watch on Drum Dums, could watch on the Lost River Drive-In. All of you folks that threw some love over here, really appreciate you. So I think that's going to be the way we'll roll moving forward with Hit the Bricks. So I'm excited for that for sure. We got Tyler Adams saying Buffy is, was, and will always be the GOAT. Yeah, I do love me some Buffy. There's some seasons and some episodes, you know, that didn't work as well, but man, like overall that show is really damn solid. Very damn solid. We got Blu-ray Addict in the house. What's happening, Blu-ray? So great to see ya. See who else we've got jumping on here. We got my chunky Jordy, aka Gina. What's happening, Gina? Hope you are doing well. I know it's super late out there where you're at. We got Brad Underwood. What's happening, Brad? Hope you are doing well. Hope the week is treating you awesomely. We've got Jeremy Benavides. Jeremy, I think this might be your first time in here. Maybe it is. If not, my apologies for forgetting. But you're kicking it with the Death Squad. Everybody make Jeremy feel very welcome for joining us. Holy cow. Haddonfield Radio. Yes. Oh my gosh, guys. Joe and Christian over at Haddonfield Radio. This is amazing having you guys here on the live stream. I love what this channel does. I know I've talked about them before here and, you know, spread the love a little bit. But guys, if you're not subbed over to Haddonfield Radio, you're going to want to check out their channel. They've been breaking down the big 3. Started out with Halloween, went over to A Nightmare on Elm Street. Now they're in the middle of Friday the 13th. Just really, you know, I guess Jason Takes Manhattan's coming up here on July 13th. But every 13th of the month with Friday the 13th, they've been putting out a brand new episode where on the back half of the episode, they watch the film and they have a prepared commentary. So some of it's kind of spur of the moment, but they also have notes. So it's not just like a watch party where somebody just watches a movie and they're like, oh, that's funny. It's very well informed. And the first half of the show, they usually connect what is going on in the movie to like a real life story, or maybe even connect it with, you know, what was going on in the production behind the scenes, or both. So usually they're 3-hour long form podcasts and they're incredibly entertaining. Christian has one of the best voices I've ever heard on YouTube. So I love what these guys do. I don't get paid to say it, but but I guess I act like I do, because yes, I love what Haddonfield Radio does, and I encourage that everyone goes over there and gives them a follow on YouTube and their social medias. Also, you know what's great is I love listening to their episodes anyways, and if I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm having a tough time getting back to sleep, I put on one of their episodes, and it sort of acts as a little bit of like a nice little horror ASMR that like puts me back into dreamland. It was very helpful, guys. When I was going through a really tough time in my personal life, Haddonfield Radio was something I leaned on for sure. Thank you for sharing that, Leanna. Really appreciate you. We got Dean Renner in the house, one of our great channel members and Patreon members as well. Dino! Boom! Yes. The Italians are in the chat, folks, whether you like it or not. Brace yourselves, everyone. When I was a kid, I always wished I were Italian. I love Italian food, so I thought there should have been some connection. But no, I'm just some pasty-ass fucking Irish descendant, whatever you want to call it. I do love The Descendants, so I guess it makes sense. Okay, Who else do we have in here? Am I missing anyone else? We got MAGA Cat in the house. What's happening, MAGA? Hope you are doing well. Oh, you guys are too sweet. It's just awesome to see you in the chat. It's I'm a little starstruck, fellas, just so you know. We got Prince, aka the Asian Action Assassin, says, okay, Davey Timberlake. Is it my hair? To be clear, franchise-wise, I'm still a horror rookie, but Longlegs will officially be my grand return to horror. I'm so ready to be a horror ghoul. Yeah, I really like Longlegs a lot. I'm not saying it's the best movie ever, but it was one of my favorite movies of 2024, easy. And yeah, hey, you know, no shame in being a horror rookie. I think a lot of us wish we could go back and have those first-time experiences all over again, you know? So hopefully you find like your little niche of the kind of horror that you really enjoy. Maybe you start enjoying all of it, but it's a great journey. And I think horror is such an awesome part of just the medium of film. You know, horror and comedy those are my two favorites. I like to escape when I watch a movie. I don't want to think about real life crap. There we go. We got Michelle Schmidt in the house. Welcome back in, Michelle. Thank you so much for joining us here. So great to see you. Blazing Asian says, I wanted to be a Ramon. Hey, we all wanted to be a Ramon, right? We got Logan Reynolds in the house going, bada bing. Love it. Let's see here. Dave's totally missed the op for the line, sometimes Irish, I was Italian. There you go. That's a good one. You know, I'm just not very quick on my feet, clearly. What can I tell you, Dean? What can I tell you? On the channel, Epic, have you watched a new horror series, Earth Abides? No, I've never even heard of that, Jeremy. Earth Abides, I've not heard of that. If any of you have seen it, let me know. There should be music playing in the background. Are you guys not hearing the music? I have it I can hear it in my headphones. I don't know. I always like having the music going, but let me know if you're not hearing it from whatever reason. I am on the web browser Brave because it's easier to not have ads when I bring the other stuff into here. No music. That's so interesting because it's totally playing in my headphones. That's so funny. I wonder if there's a way. Well, whatever. I'm not going to worry about it right now. That's so funny. Can you hear it now? Can you hear it now? Well, whatever. I'm sorry, guys. If it's awkward for you, then I apologize. At least it's not awkward for me. Leanna hears the music. Okay, cool. It is, you know, maybe it's just a little quiet. I don't know. Oh, gotcha. It's just too low, or I'm too loud on the mic. I don't know. Guys, if I'm too loud, tell me to turn my mic down. I need you. Is that better, everyone? Is that better? Is that a little more even before we really dive into the news? Are we riding the wave? Are we feeling it? I don't know. You guys got to let me know. Because sometimes I think the way that I hear it in my headphones is ultimately different than how it ends up, you know, sounding afterwards. I've never heard of that either, Jeremy. I've got my social media links in the description, so if you ever want to send me something that you're seeing that I'm not seeing, I usually just go to like Bloody Disgusting and all that stuff for you know, for the news I use here. Really quick though, before I get going on the news, everything sound good with my microphone and the music? Is everything a good balance for you guys before we dive in to this craziness of Jason universe action? All right, Jeremy gives me the good to go. The good to go, go ahead. All right, perfect. Thank you, Antonis. Thank you, Allie. Really appreciate you. Okay, guys. So yeah, I'm going to cut some of these up later and post them as their own kind of thing, just so if anyone misses the stream or you guys want to revisit one of these stories or whatever. So I will be cutting these up later, but let's go ahead and get into some horror movie news. I am going to do a couple things here. I'm going to do that, and then we're going to go down here and we're going to do that. All right. Oh my goodness, you guys. So we got some Jason universe news that's I guess the good thing about it is it's not an announcement of like a toy or a keychain or stickers or a Fortnite skin. We got news that there's a short film from director Mike P. Nelson called Sweet Revenge, which is a Jason universe short film. Let's read all about it here. We got a nice little shot there. I dig, Jason, for what we're seeing, kind of out of focus. We're only seeing a sliver of him. Looks cooler than the AI picture they've shown us, but we'll see how it all looks, once we see him in full action. So the article here is from John Squires. Most of them are. And let's see here. It starts off with a multi-platform expansion of the franchise from its original owners. The Jason universe has been taking shape this year, with everything from NECA toys to a Halloween Horror Nights attraction announced thus far. What else is coming this year, you ask? Variety has announced Sweet Revenge this afternoon, described as a short-form vignette that will serve as the centerpiece of the franchise's bold 45th anniversary campaign, which they already missed. This would have been great news to drop about 3 weeks ago, guys. I don't know why they wait. Clearly they don't. They need a Davey Deathray or a Vincent DeSanti telling them when to drop news. The article continues to say, what the hell does that mean? Well, it sounds like Sweet Revenge is a glorified commercial for Angry Orchard hard cider. With the short set to debut on the Jason Universe YouTube channel, as well as a site hosted by Angry Orchard. Oh my gosh. Variety notes in their report that Angry Orchard is sponsoring the vignette as part of a larger collaboration with the franchise. Sweet Revenge will be directed by Mike P. Nelson from Wrong Turn, who also recently wrapped production on Cineverse and Bloody Disgusting's Silent Night, Deadly Night reboot. And Nelson goes on to say, I am so grateful that the team at Horror Inc. saw something in Sweet Revenge and wanted it as part of the Jason Voorhees story. And to think 30 years ago, I was trying to secretly watch these movies on VHS when no one was looking. To have the opportunity to write and direct one of these stories is surreal. Not to mention having an amazing team led by Chad Vieja and Brianna Lee Johnson help me bring it to life. Not only is the vignette a new take on the beloved IP, it is a comforting, gory hug, reminding us of why we fell in love with these movies. Much gruesome fun awaits you, the fan. So, yeah, I'll let you guys kind of finish up. I'm going to skim the article here. I mean, really, what's standing out to me, I'll let you guys finish the article if you'd like. I don't want to just sit here and read you. I'm a little perplexed. I guess it's not like out of the realm that, film companies would have corporate sponsorship in some sort of way. I think it's odd that Angry Orchard Hard Cider is the group that's teaming up with Jason Universe. I don't know. I don't know what to think. And especially the fact that in the article they say a glorified commercial. So I don't know. I guess we know what all the campers at Crystal Lake are going to be drinking in this short. But how Angry Orchard plays a bigger part, I have no idea. The folks from let's see here. The folks from Horror Inc. say we were beyond excited when Mike Nelson came on board an Angry Orchard sponsored production to help us bring this to life in a wickedly unexpected way. I mean, I would be surprised if Angry Orchard doesn't try to, put their product in there. I think it's going to be pretty obvious. Then we have this dreadful AI image of the Jason Universe Jason that I still don't like. I don't trust Greg Nicotero with masks very much. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this something like, I just want to take your temperature on this. Is this something you guys are feeling good about? Do you not really know enough to have any sort of feelings? Or is it something where you're like, what the hell is this? Why is the first information we get on an actual live action Jason Universe short or film, why is the next thing we read that it's sponsored by an alcohol company? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. If you're hanging out live, let me know in the chat. I'm curious to get an idea of how you guys are feeling about Sweet Revenge, the Jason Universe short film brought to you by Angry Orchard Hard Cider. Oh my goodness. I'm going to jump into the chat and see what the heck you guys are saying about this. This is, I really don't know. I really don't know what to think. Voices at 11, music at 0.1. Where were you 7 minutes ago, Tyler? Allie says Jason Universe are frauds, quote unquote news. Yeah. In my opinion, a short film is better than no studio film at all. I guess we'll see what it's like. Vignette, but probably a commercial. Yeah. I hope it's subtle product. Well, we know it's going to be in there, right? Either way. I guess all movies kind of have that to a certain degree. It's just usually they don't announce that, you know, usually a movie isn't like, and Frito-Lay's and Coca-Cola are on board to sponsor Jurassic World Rebirth or whatever the heck it is. Blu-ray says, I can't believe the big announcement was that they're making a commercial. It's a commercial for Angry Orchard Art Time. Well, they said vignette short film. Yeah, I guess, you know, we don't know how long the film's going to be. This thing could be like 10 minutes. Short film, I guess, could be anything from like, what, 5 minutes to 45 minutes, 50 minutes? Yeah, I don't know. Blu-ray's thinking 2 to 5 minutes. They need Vinny to do everything for them. Yeah. Oh, my Lanta, says Leanna Beverage. Yeah. What's happening, Joel? Great to see ya. Allie's calling Angry Orchard bitch beer. Love to hear it. Yeah, I guess we'll know how Vin feels probably tomorrow. He'll probably do a Ghost Files. Oh, you guys are hilarious. Blu-ray says, I was so disappointed when I read the article and realized it was a commercial. I thought it was going to be a short film where, you know, they say a glorified commercial. So, you know, I guess who knows how much information Bloody Disgusting has as far as if it literally is just going to be a commercial with Jason in it. You know, when I spoke with Malik Akkad at H45, when he was just like going around chit-chatting with people, you know, he had mentioned that Dr. Pepper reached out to him about putting Michael Myers in a commercial and having it be like a funny commercial. And he was basically like, fuck no. Like, we don't make a joke out of Michael Myers. So take your money and get the hell out of here. Jason Universe, folks? Yeah, it looks like they might feel a little bit different. I'm not saying they're going to make a joke out of him, but it is odd. I do think it's very odd. Yeah. Be sure to drink your Angry Orchard. Yeah, it's a crummy commercial, Leanna. Are they going to change like the... Are they going to change that to something like, I don't know. I would not be surprised if they do something dorky like that. The folks from Haddonfield Radio say they are trying to feed us dog food by calling it caviar. Awful. They are not in touch with the fans at all. I completely agree. And I think the A24 Peacock folks are a little bit more in touch with fans. I think they still could give us a little bit more. But it looks like the product that they're developing for us is more in line with something that we'd actually like to see. Whereas, yeah, it sounds like it's basically like a toy company is running Horror Inc. The Jason Universe to me just seems like, yeah, like Kenner. You know, they're just like, well, how many little doohickeys can we make with Jason's like face or visage on there? You know, it's ridiculous. I guess I shouldn't say face. I guess I always think of his mask as his face. Leanna says, just waiting for a Nightmare on Elm Street brought to you by White Claw. Well, that would be fitting, you know. You know, Freddy's kind of got the claw thing going, so there we go. Jeremy Benavides wants to try it. The Angry Orchard? Jason maybe kills someone with apples. I hope I'm wrong. I think it's just going to suck. Tyler says, I'm excited anyway. I want to see a full-scale production short for their Jason. I guess it will be... I guess we'll really know which way their compass is pointing once we see a little something from this, right? So maybe I should... chill out a little bit. I don't know, guys. It's funny because Halloween is that's my favorite slasher franchise. And my favorite horror franchise is Evil Dead. And I feel fortunate both of those franchises are in relatively good hands. Yeah, there's been bad Halloween movies, but I really enjoyed what they've been doing lately. I don't know. I have so much fun with Friday the 13th that even though it's not my favorite slasher franchise, I do want to see more. I think there's so much potential here, and I don't think it's that difficult to do something good and fresh and new. I mean, Womp Stomp has shown us that there's a direction you can go that keeps it fresh and reinvigorates the characters and the property. So maybe I'm getting a little too crazy with all this stuff. Maybe I should just back off until we see something. It just seems like every time we get another little piece of news, it's just disappointing. We got Paula Fitzhenry in the house. What's happening, Paula? So great to see ya. I'm no idea on that. I don't even know if I guess maybe there's something on IMDb if somebody wants to check and see if there's any information on IMDb other than Mike Nelson's name. And brought to you by Angry Orchard. It's only been marketing, no substance yet. I hope I'm wrong. I want there to be a great new great Jason material. Absolutely. I'm right there with you. I mean, I don't want these things to fail, but I'm going to react honestly to them. And I'm just getting worse and worse feelings from Jason Universe and starting to get good feelings about A24 and Peacock. I'm very excited to see something from, I want to see, like, I had mentioned this on Hit the Bricks last night. I'd love it if on their Instagram or on Brad Caleb Caden's Instagram, what if they just like went around, taking Polaroids of the actors and actresses, like doing camp activities, interacting with each other, candid shots, almost like Polaroids that would go up on a cork board to like meet our team here at Camp Crystal Lake, 1974, or whatever the heck it's going to be, I shouldn't be the one coming up with these ideas. They should be the one working on these. They should have people, somebody like one of us that's trying to come up with these things, because I think it would be great to build some excitement. We've got some embers there in the campfire at Camp Crystal Lake. I would like to see them, start turning up a little bit and turning into something for sure. I kind of miss the cheesy 80s, 90s tie-in commercials. Yeah, I think there's a way to do that with certain characters for sure. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Freddy's like the perfect one to do that with for sure. I think, I think Womp Stomp has kind of spoiled us a little bit for sure, Allie, but we're certainly not spoiled by the people who actually have the rights that could put them up on the big screen, unfortunately. Oh, Jeremy. Well, thanks for censoring yourself. You don't have to censor yourself here. We're not going to get mad at you for it. But yeah, I dig the Blumhouse Halloween movies. They're by no means perfect, but I do really enjoy them. Oh, Linda, you're too sweet. I would say, hey, I'm not going to do anything without Vincent DeSantis, so you're going to want to call him. And if he's cool with me coming along, then all right. But he's going to have way better ideas than I do. But the Polaroid idea, that's mine. I'm taking that one. Corkboard. Meet our staff, awesome. Meet our amazing camp counselors, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I'll watch it for sure, because I'm going to have to talk about it here, Antonis, right? I'm going to have to jump on here and freak the hell out when it drops. All right, what else do we got going on here? Some of these stories might not be, of course, with Jason Universe, we're really going to dive in and talk about it, kind of ad nauseum. But maybe some of these other ones, not as much. What's happening, Sean? We are doing great tonight, man. I hope you're doing well also. Yeah. Oh, man, you're speaking the truth, Gina. It does just seem like cash grab, soulless cash grab after soulless crash grab. It is kind of a crash and cash grab. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and move on to our second story here. Let me get the banner up. All right, folks, so Lee Cronin's The Mummy wraps, filming ahead of April 2026 release. Now, Jeremy is probably not going to enjoy this, Jeremy in the chat, because it is Blumhouse with Atomic Monster. But yeah, Lee Cronin, who wrote and directed Evil Dead Rise, just wrapped up his Mummy movie. And man, it seems like they got this done really quick. I feel like we were just like teased that that's what it was going to be not too long ago. So pretty incredible that they've already wrapped it up. We see the cool little clicker there with Blumhouse and Atomic Monster, and of course the title. And it looks like we're kind of in the Serengeti, you know, somewhere in Africa. Although isn't it supposed to be Egypt? But this tree looks like a, you know, I guess it kind of is a desert tree. Anyways, what am I doing? I'm just talking about the image here. So the story here that comes to us by John Squires yet again says a classic monster movie. A classic monster returns to the big screen next year in Lee Cronin's The Mummy, a fresh take on the screen icon from the director of Evil Dead Rise that's sure to breathe new life into the classic tale. We don't know much about the movie at this time, but director Cronin has promised that it'll, quote, be unlike any mummy movie you ever laid eyeballs on before, unquote. Oh, but actually he goes on to say, I'm digging deep into the earth to raise something very ancient and very frightening. Oh, that's something that they had announced like months and months ago. So yeah, really not much meat here as far as the actual story goes, but I do think it's exciting that he's wrapped this up. I'm curious to see if it really is a mummy movie like one we've never seen before. I don't really even know what that means. I mean, the last one with Tom Cruise just looked almost like the same villain from that first Suicide Squad movie. You know, like dancy, like smoky chick. It just is like the most generic thing. I actually really like the Brendan Fraser mummy movie from, I think it was 1999, the one that Stephen Sommers directed. Like, I like that kind of adventure, swashbuckling, almost like Indiana Jones, a little more fun, kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean before Pirates of the Caribbean. So I'm curious. I would imagine that this is going to be a more horror-leaning mummy movie that'll probably be somewhat similar, like a modern version of kind of what we got from Universal way back in the day with Boris Karloff. But hopefully it really does bring the horror. I mean, if Lee Cronin is saying that it's unlike any mummy movie we've ever laid eyes on before, then I would imagine this one has got to push the horror. Now, a lot of you folks that have hung out on the channel, you know that I did enjoy Evil Dead Rise. I wish it would have pushed things further, but I think that level of horror that he found in Evil Dead Rise in a mummy movie would be a good fit. I just always Stupid, Davey. Stupid. Leanna loved Evil Dead Rise. Not my favorite, but it's a solid contribution. Yeah, I think every one of those movies are pretty damn solid for sure. Thanks for joining us for a bit, Gina. Have a great rest of your night there. Sleep well. Oh, yeah, so good. The second one's okay. The first one is really good. Love the Universal movies and the Frasier movies. I even like the first Scorpion King. I'm very intrigued. There you go. Love the old school Universal monster movies, and I'm interested to see what Cronin does with it. All right, so we've got some interest here from the chat. Frasier was a badass actor for those movies, The Mummy. Now I'm just picturing Kelsey Grammer as Frasier in a Mummy movie. That would be amazing. Doing his radio show with the Mummy in the studio. All right, that takes care of the Mummy all wrapped up. Okay, let's get into something fun that I know Allie is excited for. I'm gonna have a sip of water here. In the chat and in the comments what you thought of When Evil Lurks. I believe it came out in the States in 2023. I'm not sure if it was released earlier in Argentina, but man, I loved When Evil Lurks. I think that was my favorite horror movie of 2023. It just brought something so gross. I mean, look at this picture. It's just right up my alley, you know? Kind of reminds me of Evil Dead a little bit, but did something different enough. I thought the camera placement, camera movement was awesome. I loved the music, like I think it's violas. There's like a lot of in stereo, like plucking of viola that I thought was great. Just set a really awesome tone and set up this really cool world. So, you know, the sequel is now in development, and let's read what Demian Rugna has to say here. This is by way of Megan Navarro from Bloody Disgusting. And the article says, writer-director Demian Rugna's gnarly possession horror movie When Evil Lurks ended. I'm going to restart that. Writer-director Demian Rugna's gnarly possession horror movie When Evil Lurks ended on a somber note that left the door ajar for continuation. The filmmaker recently revealed that he's not done yet. A sequel is already in development. Rugna recently appeared on an episode of La Broma Infinita from the Argentine streaming channel Gelantina, where he spoke about filming When Evil Lurks and the status of its sequel. The horror filmmaker tells the hosts, roughly translated, that, quote, we have part 2 written, yes, and we're just waiting for the funding to come through. We have to make some script modifications to make it perfect, but the studio that wants to make it is already there. And while Rugna doesn't mention which studio is ready to produce, it's worth noting that Shudder was behind the first film, co-producing with Eremos Cine and Machaco Films. Even better is that Rugna noting the script is near completion means that we're one step closer to production. So that is great news for fans of the original. The article continues to say the script is also key to Rugna's brand of horror. The director previously told Bloody Disgusting, quote, it's not easy to scare without a script that makes scares. The problem is when you have a script that really does not scare you, you use the jump scare all the time. I guess to make a script in which you don't know what's going to happen in 2 minutes with this character, in 2 minutes with this element, give me the chance to kick it anytime. And you're not prepared for that. If I make a script that you can't anticipate what happens or where I'm going, you won't feel protected because you recognize where I'm going. That's why I'm making movies for horror fans, not the wider audience. And yeah, basically the rest of the article just kind of sums up the plot of the original film. So if you guys haven't seen When Evil Lurks from 2023, I highly recommend it. It is on Shudder and it looks like it's on AMC Plus. I think it's a beautifully shot film. It really sets a great mood and atmosphere. And I'm excited for more. I'd love to see more from within this world. And, I know this isn't really part of the story, but I'd also like to see Demian Rugna get the shot at maybe a franchise that we've heard of before, something like Texas Chainsaw Massacre or even a Friday the 13th down the line. I would say Evil Dead, but he's kind of already got his own Evil Dead thing. But guys, let me know in the chat here if you're watching live, if you're excited for When Evil Lurks 2, what you thought of the first film. And of course, if you're watching after the fact, drop down into the comments and let me know your thoughts. All right, let's see what you guys are saying here. Yeah. Oh, baby, I hear the news is calling. Mummy's tossed salads and scrambled eggs. Send me an email whenever you go live again. Well, here's the cool thing, Jeremy. If you subscribe to the channel and you click the notification bell, then you'll automatically get a little ding on your phone. So that's even easier for sure. I wish I were able to, email individuals to let them know when I'm going live. But this one, I put this one together kind of last minute. So really appreciate you guys kicking it with me here. Hell yeah. Allie's pumped on When Evil Lurks. Frasier, one of my all-time. Frasier mixing with Brendan Fraser in a Mummy reboot. It was freaking amazing. Oh, Antonis, I highly recommend it, man. Like, if you like some disturbing horror, you would dig that for sure. I'm sure it will. Yeah, I mean, how could it not? The first one is like, yeah, crazy gory. Wider audience? Hey, I sure could lose some weight, but don't be mean about it. Well, oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, Tyler. I needed that. Thank you so much. All right, let's see how many more of these we can get through because I just talk all friggin' day. Okay, so this one is certainly for Tyler Adams. And, there's so many Buffy fans out there. I don't even know. Well, whatever. I'll save it for when I'm actually going into the thing. Okay, guys, the next story we have here is Sarah Michelle Gellar, speaking out about this Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot that is coming to Hulu. So Buffy's coming back to the small screen. The title of the article here is Sarah Michelle Gellar says Buffy reboot will balance new and legacy storylines. And there she is. The article comes to us by way of John Squires. Surprise, surprise. And the article says Hulu is bringing the iconic series Buffy the Vampire Slayer back to the small screen with Sarah Michelle Gellar reprising the role of Buffy alongside Ryan Kiera Armstrong from Firestarter as a brand new Vampire Slayer. The reboot series is the brainchild of Chloe Zhao from Nomadland, and Michelle Gellar offers a few teases in a new chat with Vanity Fair this week. For starters, Buffy isn't the only character from the original 90s series making a return. Michelle Gellar says, quote, "It will be lighter than the last few seasons of the original. We will try to find a balance between new and old characters. My dream is to bring back everyone who has died, but space will have to be made for new stories as well." End quote. And the article continues to say, you can also expect the new series to tackle the issues plaguing today's teens. All right, so we've got a quote here from another quote from Sarah Michelle Gellar says, "One of the surprising aspects of Buffy is that it's always been a crossover series. We're trying to figure out how to modernize the themes of the series, especially what it means to feel like an outsider in a world dominated by social media. What we want to explore are the space-time boundaries that affect society today." Space-time boundaries. I don't really know quite what that means, but I guess it kind of sounds cool. Michelle Gellar also notes, quote, "I didn't want to reintroduce something we had already seen. I waited for the right time to come. That right time is now. Oh, that right time is now," says Bloody Disgusting, "with filming getting underway soon on the brand new Buffy television series. Stay tuned for updates as we learn more." So we've got one of the writers from Poker Face wrote the pilot. Chloe Zhao is set to direct and executive produce, and Sarah Michelle Gellar is also executive producing, which is great. I love when actors get involved on the producing side as well. It just helps them sort of retain some of that creative control, and then at least you know that they're invested in the project in more than one way. So I'm excited for this. I had said it earlier on the stream that I loved Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV show. I actually really like the movie as well. The Christy Swanson movie, it's really damn good as well with Donald Sutherland. Fun stuff. I think the show you know, just like any other TV show as it goes, there's certain elements that just didn't work for me as well. But throughout, I would say, you know, I would give Buffy like a good like 92% fresh rate. You know, if I were to be my own Rotten Tomatoes, most of the seasons are all like, you know, pretty amazing. I think all right, guys, so we've got 3 new trailers that have dropped within the last week or so. Now, it seems like whenever I actually play a trailer on a stream or try to use it for the purpose of the channel, I always get a little slap on the wrist from the YouTube people or the rights holders, truly. But I do want to talk about these trailers, and what I'll do is in the description of this clipped out video, I will have a link to each one of these trailers so you can, you know, watch them yourself if you'd like to. You know, I'll start with the big one here, the Red Band Toxic Avenger trailer. So this one, I watched this one earlier. First off, what do you guys think about the look of Toxie here? Do you dig the Toxie look? I think it's fun. I mean, it's like Trauma. It's like I want it to look kind of silly. I do think it's like quite a coup to get somebody of Peter Dinklage's, you know, caliber as a performer to portray Toxie. I've like that kind of blows my mind. I think that in and of itself makes this a movie that I definitely don't want to miss. And guys, the Red Band trailer is gory as all get out. So if you're a gore hound, you want to kind of see which way they're going and you want to get an idea of what these effects look like, I think it's worth it to watch the trailer. Even if you're somebody that doesn't normally watch trailers, I think it's well worth it because it's not really going to spoil much. Like, we all know what the Toxic Avenger is about. The article here says the unrated event of the summer is headed our way on August 29th with the release of Bloody Disgusting, Cineverse, and director Macon Blair's The Toxic Avenger, a brand new reboot of the Trauma classic that you demanded in all its unrated glory on the big screen. Ahead of the nationwide theatrical release of The Toxic Avenger, fully uncut and unrated in all locations, IGN has debuted the official Red Band trailer today, and I believe this is from about 5 or 6 days ago. So yeah, guys, August 29th, we're getting a brand new Toxic Avenger film. You can watch the Red Band trailer. If you haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend you do so. I had a blast with it, and this one looks like a lot of fun. And especially since I have the AMC A-list, it's going to be well worth my time to check this one out in theaters. Of course, not only Peter Dinklage, but Kevin Bacon is in the film, as well as Elijah Wood. So, and I think I saw there's another Jacob Tremblay. That he's a younger actor. I haven't really seen him in anything, but I see his name all over the place. So they're pulling in some good names for this one. You know, I'm a relatively lukewarm fan of like a lot of trauma stuff because it's so silly. I take it for what it is. But I am looking forward to checking this one out when it hits theaters on August 29th. And then our next trailer here, guys, The Strangers Chapter 2. It's finally coming our way, whether we wanted any of these movies or not. I skipped out on Chapter 1 because I didn't hear anything good about it. But I did watch the trailer for I did watch the trailer for Chapter 1, and I watched the trailer for Chapter 2 earlier today. And as the article states here, it says The Strangers Chapter 2 trailer, Chapter 1's final girl returns for Halloween 2 style sequel. And yeah, that's pretty much exactly what it looks like. And it looks like, you know, I think some folks, when the first movie was being advertised and after it came out, sounded like there might be kind of like this whole town is like in on it, like it's kind of like a cult or something like that, or they either worship these people or let them do whatever they want to do, or maybe the masks go in rotation and everyone kind of has their turn playing these characters. I don't know. It seems like there's definitely some sort of kind of cult atmosphere going on here with the this new Rennie Harlan version of The Strangers. And so the article says here, just over 1 year after The Strangers Chapter 1 kickstarted a new trilogy of terror tales, Lionsgate is getting set to unleash The Strangers Chapter 2 in theaters on September 22nd. Watch the official trailer for The Strangers Chapter 2 below, which takes a Halloween 2 style approach by continuing the survival story of Madeline Petch's final girl, Maya. So yeah, like it says here, set inside a hospital, and it looks like we're going to get some stuff outside of the hospital, but I would imagine the first act of the film at least is probably going to be there. Guys, I don't know. I guess since I just said I have AMC A-list, I suppose I should just watch this one in theaters. Let me know, though, in the comments or in the chat if you're watching live. Did you even check out the first chapter? Are you looking forward to the second chapter? The Strangers is just a franchise I have a tough time getting amped for. I don't know why. I guess I liked Prey at Night. I thought that was a good entry. And I think the concept is like decent. I'm kind of surprised that here we are already kind of remaking the first movie. It's just sort of bizarre to me, but let me know in the comments below what you think. And then we'll move on to our last trailer here. This one I'm intrigued with, guys, because I haven't seen much about this film. Actually, so this article is about exclusive images that they've released, but there is a link for a trailer, and I watched it earlier today. So there's a film called The Banished. It's an eerie Australian folk horror, and I like folk horror movies. And this kind of imagery here, people, you know, hanging in bloody bags from a tree. It's just, I don't know. There's some creepy imagery here. And when I watched the trailer, I was like, oh, this could be like a great movie that is teasing you with all this imagery in the trailer, or it could be a bad movie that knows how to cut together a really good trailer. So sort of tough to tell, but I do like folk horror. So I'm intrigued on this one. And it says, the article says here, Observance director Joseph Sims Dennett is back with new horror movie The Banished, and our exclusive new images ventures into the woods to unearth nightmare fuel. The Australian folk horror movie will be released in select theaters and on VOD July 18th via Brainstorm Media. And in The Banished, quote, after her brother mysteriously goes missing, Grace ventures into the dangerous wilderness to find him. As she uncovers the horrific truth of his disappearance, she is faced with a darkness which threatens to claim her as well. And yeah, guys, I'll include the trailer in the link in the description, or there'll be a link for the trailer in the description down below. This one looks interesting to me, and I haven't really heard anyone talk about it, The Banished. So I'm curious to know what you guys think. Check out the trailer. Let me know in the comments. If you've heard of this and you're watching live, I am also curious to know what you think. And if you've because I haven't seen this movie Observance. So I miss a lot. So let me know what I'm missing, and let me know if you're going to check this one out when it hits video on demand on Chapter 2 in theaters. Yeah, I was going to go check out that F1 movie today, and I'm like, I don't even know if I care to sit for 2.5 hours to watch like F1 racers. I don't know. Let's see here. I love the OG Strangers, says Jamie. All right, so maybe I do need to check that one out as well. I really enjoyed Prey at Night for sure. So yeah, that could sort of wraps up the all the trailer stuff, and then I've got one more little nerdy thing for me. This is just ridiculous, guys. Okay, so this news story is just for me. Guys, I'm a massive Mystery Science Theater 3000 fan, and this movie, The Giant Spider Invasion from 1975, is one of the movies that was made fun of on the show in the Sci-Fi Channel era. And it's a bad movie, don't get me wrong. But this kind of just tickled me in the right way. This article says The Giant Spider Invasion, new scenes being added to 1975 movie for 2026 re-release. And at first I was like, oh, they're going to put in some deleted scenes or something. Nope. Oh no. This is something totally different. So let's get into the article here. The article starts with a quote, looks like a tagline from the movie that says, "They came by the hundreds, by the thousands, killing and crippling, creeping, crawling creatures determined to destroy the earth. Could anything stop them?" You might remember this line from the original trailer for The Giant Spider Invasion, a 1975 creature feature from director Bill Rebane that Mystery Science Theater 3000 gave new life to back in 1997. And I think Bill Rebane also directed Monster A Go-Go, which is a far worse movie. Hopefully I'm not wrong in that. Anyways, the article goes on to say, decades later, The Giant Spider Invasion is once again set to make a return next year with a brand new version of the movie featuring newly shot scenes, Green Bay Press Gazette reports. The outlet details, quote, Bill Rebane and a group of writers, actors, and filmmakers from Wisconsin hope to shine a spotlight anew on the movie. They plan to add scenes and characters into the original and fix some of the mistakes that have made Rebane cringe for decades. Might have to remake the whole movie, Bill. So basically, we're getting a George Lucas Star Wars Special Edition version of The Giant Spider Invasion. So yeah, this isn't, when I saw this, I'm like, oh my gosh, I know some of these news stories, guys, I just want to share because I'm such a nerd about this stuff, whether it's some like dorky Jaws thing, but at least Jaws has broad appeal. But yes, when I see something that's like Mystery Science Theater related, if it scratches a nerdy itch that I have, I'm definitely going to talk about it. I'm curious to see how they do this and how they match these things up. I mean, you can see from the picture here, they have these giant puppets that they use, and they use real tarantulas for like the babies in the movie. But yeah, they literally turn into like these giant puppets that look like they're probably built on like riding mowers or something crazy like that, and the legs just like basically teeter back and forth to make it look like they're walking. It is a rough movie. But yeah, giant spider invasion. Guys, if you're a Mystery Science Theater 3000 fan, welcome, one of us. Let me know in the comments down below if you are an MST3K fan, if you're a fan of this episode, the giant spider invasion, and like, what do you make of Bill Rebane going back to add scenes into a movie that no one even talks about or really cares about? I think it's pretty wild. I'm guessing the Wisconsin government is helping him do this, because I don't even know how you would do this. No one would know about this movie if it weren't for Mystery Science Theater 3000. So yeah, guys, let me know in the comments if you're a fan, if you dig this episode, and if you like the idea of going back to movies from 50 years ago to add brand new scenes for a new release. That is just wild to me. All right, guys, holy cow, there we go. That wraps up the news portion. And oh my gosh, it's 6:08. I've got to get out for my niece's dinner. I knew this one was going to be quick, but I really appreciate you guys kicking it here. Let me see what you're saying about T. Parker says, I'm actually stoked to see F1, especially in Dolby Cinema. I think I will check it out. I just was like, oh, I'm not going to race out and try to see it today. The Banished, I love it. I saw the trailer. That was awesome. There you go. Used to watch Mystery Science Theater with my mom and brother when I was a kid. So good. Yeah, and I think most of the episodes, if not all of them, are right here on YouTube. So it's awesome that you can catch up on any ones that you missed, or rewatch ones that bring back a good memory from childhood. Yes, love to all the mods, and so much love to you guys. You guys are amazing. Really appreciate everyone that kicked it with us earlier today over on Twisted Locker's channel. I'm probably going to go live another time this weekend, so just keep an eye out. I'll try to do my best to actually plan something. This was a little last minute, but of course I'm going to cut all these news segments out and have some fun with those. But you guys are absolutely incredible. I hope you have an awesome rest of your Thursday evening. And really, can't thank you guys enough for everything you do, especially the Patreon members, our YouTube channel members, and of course, our amazing group of Death Squad mods. So that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Movie News and More with Davey Deathray. I'll be back some other time later on this week. And guys, you know the drill. Until next time, I've been and will continue being Davey Deathray.